Hello, Neville! Yeah, it's about a minute behind. Yeah, as I said, the logo actually really helps people with.
In terms of the volume, because
It does sound long.
the whole essence of this is for us to speak and people listen and they hear what we are saying. I just want to be sure that people are hearing what we are saying.
Yes.
I can't hear anything here. Yeah, that's
So at some point I'm going to shout hello, Neville, and then runs off the
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Neville!
Way to go. It works brilliantly. It's not a minute delay.
Yeah. So if you watch on Google, you don't have to watch on YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
If you watch on Google, I think it's less delay.
All right, so we have to understand if there's a delay.
So if you go to the Access website, to the answer site, I think it's less
Yeah.
delay.
There's a lot
It's on the answer side.
on the answer side.
So,
Um,
So the projects and programs. Steve?
Yep.
Would you fall under? How do I navigate?
just answer.
Okay, there's no link.
Slash answer.
Yeah.
5 viewers already. We have some viewers already.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking amazing.
Cool, eh?
Can we record this?
Yeah, it automatically records it for you.
Yeah, then
And you save it as a file on your own YouTube channel.
Okay, so now if people want to send questions.
Yeah, I want to log into the Facebook and Twitter,
Okay,
so that I'll just be replying
so
back.
do that now,
That's what I'm
and then we can announce that some people will
Or just designate it with the hashtag.
Yes, I have the answer. I'll give you the answer.
Like,
So can you
okay.
follow them both?
Yeah, I'll give the answer, put it on Facebook.
I'm gonna go have a cup of coffee with you.
And in the text box there, which people on Google can see, no last hand.
Can they text?
Yes.
Do they have to be part of the conversation?
No. They have to log into the Google site that then use the first link that Steve
So there's
has.
3 ways they can communicate with us, right?
Yeah.
One is Twitter, one is Facebook, and the other is on the Google site. Cool. Well done, guys. That's very impressive.
No worries, Steve.
Very impressive. We're on live on Google Hangouts. The whole of
So,
It's like a minute delay.
yeah, like 3 minutes delay. So, I'll please. Get it on.
Steve,
Yeah.
do you think they'll chat quickly before we start outside there? I've just smoke a cigarette.
When you come,
When you're ready.
I will.
I just want to just make sure that we both agree what's going to happen. Obviously.
Sorry guys, we're trying to get ready for the meeting. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I will give you. This will be good. It's getting great.
okay. 2 minutes.
Feedback. Yeah, how far are we from start?
Um,
Let's see.
so,
Switch off my mic.
so
It's only a few minutes. Just mute my mic. Mute your- Mute my. Mouse. Okay. Good morning, everybody that is watching. Good morning. The first thing I need to tell you is that there is a long delay on some of your reception. So we will assume that it takes at least a minute from when I'm speaking until you can hear what I'm saying. And there are a number of ways in which you can interact with us, which I'll get to in a moment. But first of all, let me welcome you and tell you my name. My name is Dr. Neville Swade, Dr. Neville Swade, and I am the director of the Access Program, which is a research and education and training program in global change Earth System Sciences based in South Africa. And with me is one of our participants in our program in many different respects, including a postgraduate student, Steve Arawalo, who is a student at the University of Cape Town. And the two of us have been working on ANSWER, and Steve will tell you a little bit about ANSWER in a moment. But before we do that, this meeting should last no longer than 30 minutes. And what we plan to do is to give you some information, and you can interact with us in 3 ways. Okay, there are 3 ways you can interact with us. One is you can, if you're on the Google site, you can type your message in the Google chat box. That's your one option. The second is you can send us messages via the Facebook page that Steve has created. That's on the Facebook page. Steve will give you the URL in a moment. And the third is to use Twitter, and Steve's monitoring both of those. And that's hashtag, what's the hashtag?
It's RN.
RN, Research Network. So it's answer RN, ANSWER, hashtag ANSWER, and then another RN.
Yeah.
So 2 R's. Is that right? Steve, 2 R's. 2 R's. ANSWERRN.
Yes.
Okay, that's what it is, hashtag. So those are the ways you can send us messages, and we can respond to you in that way. So before we continue, I'm going to now hand over to Steve, who will tell you a bit about the ANSWER story. He'll speak nice and clearly and slowly and loudly. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah.
Loud.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is Steve, and I have Nelly with me. And I just want to say that ANSWER is an initiative that sprang from the meeting we had, the Future Ed meeting that was held in Cape Town, the year 2012. And in that forum, we came up with this initiative to see how we could get the young African emerging researchers in the global change research involved, more broadly in research. And we thought of forming a kind of a group, a kind of a social group, whereby it would be easy for researchers across the continent to network. And we felt that would bring about a lot of advantages for most of our students and researchers, emerging researchers in global change across the continent. And to that effect, we've been trying to make contact with relevant organizations across, let me say, across the globe, to see how we can get adequate support for ANSWER. And it's getting nearer to the time where we want to actually officially launch the program. And we felt it would be good to actually carry everybody along. And just say that the purpose of this meeting is to initiate a process whereby we'll get representatives, people who will be willing to serve, maybe to represent their regions or their countries in the ANSWER network. And in the course of this very short meeting, we are going to be discussing the process to filing your application to say, okay, you would like to represent your region. So I just want to welcome you guys to this meeting, and we appreciate your feedback on our Facebook page, on Twitter, and you can also put your comments, the YouTube, the comment space there, or you can send an email. So,
Steve,
you're
can you
welcome.
just tell us what is the Facebook URL?
Yes, I'll give you the Facebook URL now. Most of you guys are there. Most of you are connected already on Facebook. The Facebook is www.facebook.com/Answer Research Network. So that's the
That's all fine.
that's where you
So
find it.
they can send us an email, they can hashtag AnswerRN, they can Facebook us,
And you can post your
and
comments.
you can comment on the YouTube feed. Those are 4 ways in which you can contact us right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good. So let me just add a little bit about the Answer Network. So Steve has really been the chief leader in this respect and has helped us get as far as we have. We have support from ICSU, the Regional Office for Africa. And so the real motivation from our point of view is to ensure that opportunities that arise across the continent, which often arise out of bilateral relationships or arise out of specific activities, get distributed to a much broader pool of people so that opportunities can be made known to the community of emerging researchers and students. And if we can succeed in organizing ourselves well enough, then I believe we have a strong way, a strong opportunity to develop this idea into something quite substantial. And our vision, which we want your help with, is to develop an organization which ultimately has a secretariat, is independent, can raise money, can run a bursary program, can have a travel or a fellowship fund, etc., for postgraduate students and for emerging researchers. So it's a network both for engagement with each other, but also something material. So that's our vision for the long term. Of course, that's just the idea, but the detail of how we will develop such a network will depend on the steering committee. And that's why we wanted to establish a steering committee. And for that purpose, we have called this meeting to tell you about the process that we are putting in place to get that going. And I should also stress that the Access program is really acting at this stage as the nest. We are the place where we are hosting this process, but if and when the Answer Network develops to a strong enough stage where it can go independent, then Access will receive from that role, and Answer will operate independently from wherever it might find itself. So that's the background, and I think that's about as much information as we have, because we haven't really taken the idea further without wanting to engage with a broader community first. And so our next step is to establish the steering committee in some sort of democratic and open process, which we can account for, and hence this meeting. I just wanted to say one more thing, Steve, about Future Earth. So as Steve pointed out, the first conception of our Answer Network happened at the Future Earth meeting in Cape Town. So I'm assuming that not all of you know what Future Earth is, and I'm just going to quickly say, Future Earth is still formulating as an idea. It's an international program bringing together various different role players, funding organizations, research organizations in both the natural sciences and in the social sciences. So ICSU is involved, what's the social science? ISSC is involved, and a number of other players are involved. And the goal I think it was formulated at the Rio +20 meeting, and the idea is to bring together a whole lot of research and funding agencies to bring a huge amount of resources to bear on global change problems globally. And it's divided into different regions, and Africa is one region. And so there have been a number of consultative meetings. There's a head office in Paris, and this program is developing, and they held several meetings in Africa, one of which was in Cape Town, and then we put up our hand and said, well, what about the youth? What about the emerging researchers? And as a consequence of that, they mandated us in the African region to formulate something. And so there's a lot of interest in what we are doing, and if we can succeed, I believe that what we will service is not just Future Earth, but other such programs that will exist. So that's the background. Steve is monitoring the systems to see if you have any questions or any statements or anything you want clarification on at this stage. So far, nothing, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also just want to say that we try to open the application process. And if you feel that you so much keen to work on the Access Steering Committee to represent your, Answer Steering Committee to represent your region or to represent your country. In Africa, just a kind of a quick review of the region. We have 5 major regions, like we have the Southern Africa, we have the Central Africa, the Eastern Africa, the Western Africa, the Northern Africa. So we need, for now, we need 1 representative for our region. So in other words, we need 5 people to come together to join us to be part of the steering committee. As you see, like I said in the email I sent out to you guys, I said we're trying to make this initiative very inclusive, and we want it to be robust enough to be able to accommodate everybody, regardless of language or races or whatever. So, and I think what we are doing now is to give you guys a blank check to say, yeah, we are just write on it, So, and I think the process is open. Is something that I would just encourage people. If you know that you are passionate, if you know that you really have what it takes to drive your vision, you just welcome to join us. So I'll just mention some of the things you need to do to file in your application. But before I do that, I think Neville has one thing to say.
Now, a couple of things before we talk about that. I just want to talk about the opportunity we have at hand right now. So just to reiterate, so as you all know, we put up a survey system to kind of capture names and information about people and organizations. And clearly, the more representative you are of a broader group of people in your region, the better for us, because then you have a greater reach through you. So Steve monitored that, and Steve, I can't recall how many people registered on that system, about 50 or 60? About 80 people. Okay, registered on that system. And those are the people that all got notified about this meeting. Okay. So we have a subgroup of people either on this Google Hangout or watching via YouTube that have participated so far. Okay, so what's the opportunity? In December, in a month's time, the South African Global Change Research Community is holding a conference in the city of Port Elizabeth in South Africa. And that's running from the 1st to the 5th of December in Port Elizabeth, at a university called Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. And what we have done is we have applied for some funding to bring a representative group of people to that meeting in Port Elizabeth in December. We have asked for enough money to bring 1 person from each of those regions that Steve mentioned. So that's Southern, Northern, Eastern, Western, and Central Africa. Make a total of 5 representatives. And so we want to run a process now whereby we can select those 5 people from people who apply to attend. And Steve will explain just now what the process will be. I just want to say that it won't be Steve and I that will be making the decisions about who are selected. We have appointed a committee of external people, including some scientists and some representatives of some of the stakeholder organizations. So somebody from the Ministry of Science and Technology in South Africa, somebody from ICSU-ROA, and somebody from the National Research Foundation. They will vet our applications and they will make a decision and then we will announce those decisions. So unfortunately, we can't bring everybody. We would love to do that. And at a future date when the organization has got lots of money and we can have our own conference, indeed we will do that. But at this stage, we're looking for a representative who can come to the meeting and then have a business meeting around ANSA to decide how we take ANSA forward. So that's what we're planning to do now, and Steve will explain that process going forward. Steve?
Okay, sorry guys, some guys are complaining about echo, about the feedback effect, and yeah, we're trying to see what we can do to fix that. And
the only thing I can tell you to do is to switch off your own microphone.
Yes.
Okay, if you have a microphone that's on,
Yeah.
switch it off. Okay, because that's how you sometimes get an echo.
Exactly.
But we are not accepting any incoming sound, so that should be fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can, but I'm really, yeah,
Okay.
I'll give to them now, just to give you the obvious.
Otherwise, I'm not sure why you're getting echo.
Yeah.
We will summarize this information in an email after this meeting anyway, okay?
Yeah.
All right, Steve, so do you want to explain the process?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I just want to say that the process is very simple. We just need you to give us, I think, one-page CV and a one-page motivation letter. One-page CV, one-page motivation letter. Just within the next 24 hours, you just email it to my email address. You all have it, srolo@access.ac.za. So that is the process. That's the procedure for now. So once we have that, once we have the your one-page CV and the motivation should actually speak to the issue why you think you can represent your country or your region.
More your regional
Your region and your country, yeah. So we need to just get the motivation and then the one-page CV. This one-page CV, one-page motivation. And then if we can have that within the next 24 hours, then you're fine.
Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about that the kind of people we are trying to recruit. So obviously, as a young scientist or as a student, your network is not as developed as perhaps some of your senior mentors might be, and that's quite acceptable. What we're looking for is somebody who has the kind of temperament that is driven to lead. We want somebody who's going to have the energy to understand that we don't have resources at this stage, okay? That understands that in the future, if we work really hard and work together as a team, we might have resources in the future. And if we have those resources, so we will be able to travel in the region and so on and so forth. At this stage, we have no budget. Okay, we have applied for some money to bring people to the meeting. So the kind of person we're looking for is somebody who's really a go-getter, who's really able to go out there and talk to senior people, promote the idea, and believes that what we're doing is valuable, and can really help us in developing and branding and promoting the idea of ANSA in your region broadly, okay? Of course, you'll have support in the sense that we can write letters of introduction, and we can make all those decisions at the meeting of how we will support you, and we can also help to try to raise money centrally as well and distribute that if we can. But the main thing at this stage is to find people that are really ready to go and drive this idea in their region and to recruit other people to join the network in such a way, and then to help us develop it. So in your motivation letter, tell us why you think, what your experience is, what your connections are, what your networking is to date, those kinds of things. Tell us why you think you're the one from your region, okay? Your CV, please just tell us what you're doing, where you studied, what you're studying, where you're working, if you are, etc., etc. The basic information, your age, etc., nationality, and so on and so forth. I assume that all people who apply must have a valid passport, okay? And there will be a visa process which we'll have to advance through in some cases, okay, but we'll get to that later. That's why we need to rush this process, and we're only going to give you 24 hours from when Steve sends the email today to the people to say you've got 24 hours to apply, okay? And then at the what we will attach to the email is also a description of the conference, because the opportunity is not just to attend the meeting, but also to attend the conference. And we will register you at the conference and help you with accommodation and those kinds of things. But perhaps you might feel that it's also an opportunity for you to present something of your own work, which is relevant to the conference. And if you do want to do that, then you need to submit an abstract for the conference, okay? And for that purpose, you will see in the attachment to the email a description of the conference, and there will be a link to the conference website, okay? So there are three things. One is optional. A CV we need from you, as Steve said, a letter of motivation, and optionally, if you want to present something at the conference, send an abstract, okay, with your application. And that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so those are the items that I think we need to cover. Let's just see, Steve, is there any questions or feedback that have come in yet?
Yeah, not really pertaining to
what we presented.
what we presented. Yeah, but what I just want to say is this. I just want us to see the opportunity in answer in terms of what this means for Africa. I mean, Africa, a young scholar, you know. And I think it's really good for us to really, you know, have a kind of a research network that is managed by, you know, young African researchers. And you all know that a lot is going on around the world, but we don't want Africa to be left behind. Oftentimes we complain that we've been left behind, you know, and we felt that this is an opportunity. You will see what I'm seeing, or if you see what they've seen, I think you will really want to talk about this opportunity and really see how we can drive this. And I like the fact that Nebby mentioned the fact that we need someone who has what it takes in terms of the passion. You know, you have to really be able to know why you are doing this. You know, the answer is meant to actually fill a particular gap, you know, to really see how we can organize global change research on the continent. And I think to me that's very important. So you guys are, you know, free to now ask your questions, or if there's anything you want that is not clear from what you have presented, we just want to give you a few minutes now to get back to us now live and just pop in your comments, your queries, and your contribution.
Let me just say that, of course, I see here we have 15 viewers, but we might have others which are not on this system but are watching on YouTube. Okay. And it would seem appropriate that we consider first those people that have participated in this meeting. However, we have no way of knowing, right, which these 14 people are. So can I ask the following? Okay. Those of you who have participated in this meeting via the system, either through the Google Hangout or on the YouTube broadcast, please email me. Okay, I'm going to give you my email address verbally now. At least then we'll have a record of which people participated. I'm not sure if there's any other way of knowing this. Okay, so this is just an experiment on our part. So if you are watching this live, write this down. Okay, my email address is N for November, S for sugar, W for Wednesday, E for echo, I for India, J for July, and D for December. I'll spell that again. It's N, S, W, E, I, J, D. nswade@gmail.com. So if you're watching this meeting live, just send me an email so that I have a record of who it was that actually listened to the meeting, okay? nswade@gmail.com. And then what we will do then is we will send an email out to everybody on our list to tell them what we've told you now in a very brief summary. Basically to say, and I'm going to reiterate that just one more time. We started ANSWER as an African network, directly targeting emerging researchers and postgraduate research students. We would like it to formulate itself, and hence we are trying to assemble a steering committee. We have applied for, but don't have yet, and let me just re-emphasize that. We have applied for, but do not have yet funding to bring people to a global change research meeting taking place in Port Elizabeth in December. If we are successful in getting that money, we will try to bring one representative from each of the African regions, North, South, East, West, and Central Africa, together for a first steering committee meeting of the Access Network. And we have asked you to please make an application to us, written to Steve himself, right? Steve, you will receive it. So we'll just give your email address again. And that will comprise a letter of motivation, a CV or resume, an option, one-page CV or resume, and optionally an abstract to present something at the conference. So Steve, you want to give your email address?
Okay, yeah. I think almost everybody got my email. The email is SRO, that's S for school, A for apple, R for road, O for orange, W for web, O for orange again, then L for lion, and O for orange at access.ac.za. Yeah, most of you received my email, so just feel free to send us your feedback, and let's start the conversation. If there is anything that you want to clarify with respect to applying, getting your application, send me an email, or you send us inbox the Facebook, or you just say something to us about this idea, about this issue. And also, if you'd like to read more about ANSWER, about how this idea originated and where it originated from, you can also try to get to the ANSWER's homepage via www.access.ac.za/ANSWER. So that's the page. On that page, you're going to see the concept notes, where we wrote like a kind of a one-page description of how we came about this initiative and what we hope to achieve. So I think from my side, this is all what we want to do today, and we just want to welcome you guys. And also to add that this virtual meeting will be an ongoing thing. This is the first of its kind, and we still have several of these. So just bear with us if there are maybe any technicalities in terms of the echoes and not really being able to hear us very clearly as when we started. So as we continue, this will improve. So just to start the initiative, and that's what we have done today. So we look forward to hearing from you guys. And
yeah, so I think we're concluding now. So just again to confirm that you were part of this meeting, send me an email. I'll say my email one more time. What's that?
Today.
Well, I just want those people that participated in this meeting to email me, just so we know who participated. So it's N for Neville, S for sugar, W for Wednesday, E for Echo, I for India, J for July, D for December. That's nswade@gmail.com. So, if there are no other questions coming in, Steve, are there any other questions coming in? I hope we've been clear.
Let me see. Okay, I think as far as I'm concerned, I'm trying to read some of the. Okay, now somebody is saying that metal, and you please repeat what you want us to send. I am watching live.
Okay. So just let's distinguish. Yeah. So just as a record of who participated in this meeting, I would like to receive an email just to say my name is so-and-so and I participated in the meeting. I've already received one from Basanda.
Yeah.
So send me an email, just say my name is so-and-so, I participated in the meeting, just an email, and that's nswade@gmail.com. Then Steve will send everybody an email to tell them the process for which we have given you a day to apply to participate in the steering committee, pending us getting the funding, which we don't have. So those are the two things, right? And then Steve will tell you what we require from you are three things. One is CV, abbreviated CV. Two, a motivation, and optionally three, an abstract for the support. Yeah? That clear?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. Any other questions?
And someone was asking to know more about what the future aids. What the future aids Africa is up to. I mean, what is future aids? How can they get involved? How can the country be part of the future aid program? Someone wants to know.
I can't tell you a lot about it. I think if you go and look on the Google Earth, Google on Future Earth on Google, and you will find a link for it. And then you can also look on the ICSU website for it. There's a lot of material. There's a lot of meetings and a lot of documents being produced. There are various people that are very optimistic about this producing real funding, and there's a science committee and so on and so forth. But at this stage, it's still very much an idea. So we have to wait and see whether something really materializes. But hopefully Edith will attend our conference and she will go tell us more. She's the head of ICSU. In Africa.
Yeah. This guy is trying to find out how. Okay, so what are the chances of research interns attending the conference? Someone who's an intern. Yeah, I think
it doesn't matter what you are, as long as your motivation is good and we can judge your application, then by all means.
And then someone was trying to know what they mentioned ICSU ROA and how they function in Africa.
So ICSU ROA is the Regional Office for Africa, and again, I'm not speaking on their behalf, I just work with them. They're based in Victoria, and they belong to ICSU globally, and they play a role in helping to organize African research in various fields that ICSU is involved with, natural sciences being one of them. There are several others. And really what they do is they network and try and bring opportunities together, but not really for students or emerging researchers. So that's kind of why we are associated with ICSU, because they are kind of a natural parent body. But there are an organization which does not fund research directly. They don't have funding. They have funds for meetings. Yeah.
Okay, then another one wants to know, is it like we are trying to establish a kind of a node, answers offices in each of the African regions?
Yes, I think that is what we're trying to do. I don't think we want to be prescriptive about what we call it and what the functions are. I think that's something which we will discuss at the steering committee meeting, and even try and figure out, what the roles and responsibilities and expectations are of the different representatives. What we don't want is for South Africa to drive this process independently. That we don't want. So we want to be as quickly representative of the different African regions as possible, because we want this to be a truly African network rather than a South African network, even though we might have taken the step to initiate it. So the exact roles and purpose of each of the different regional representatives we will discuss together when we are together.
Okay. And also, just to add to that question, I think it's very important for us to know that this is a Pan-African initiative, and I think we use the word Pan-African very, very carefully because this time around we want an African research network that will be able to carry everybody along. This should not be seen as a South African agenda. It is a Pan-African agenda. And I think that this is one of the things that the ICSU ROA is trying to promote on the continent. Is the reason why we have their endorsement. We already have the endorsement for ICSU ROA, and they are also very equally passionate about what we hope to achieve through the ANSA initiative. So it's our idea. It's when I say our idea, I mean, it's an African initiative. It's Pan-Africa, and it's the reason why we say everyone should come along. In fact, one of the things we have in the plan is to make sure that we are quite aware that languages will be a barrier. Some of our materials will be translated into other key African languages, just to make sure that we are able to carry everybody along. And just yesterday, I got an email from someone from North Africa. I think that's the Arab-speaking region, and I was very excited. I hope the guy is also on the internet listening to us now, and we hope that we also have representatives from region like that, whereby we come together to have a roadmap to really plan. This is the way we want to do global change research in Africa. We don't want to be left behind, and this is the whole idea. And I hope that clarifies the question. Okay, so let me check for more questions. And okay, someone wants to know the deadline for the application.
So we've only got a month left until the conference starts, and so we're under pressure. So we are going to give people 24 hours from when Steve sends the email. They will give you the deadline. Maybe noon tomorrow, South African time. Noon tomorrow is the cutoff date for those applications. Not much to do. You have a CV and a letter of motivation to write, and then you will accept those. Again, I want to stress and keep stressing. You do not have funding yet. You have made an application. So even though you might apply, we might even successfully get you, we might have a problem getting you there because of funding. But we are hopeful.
Yeah, just to say something about funding as well, it's very possible that we have some of you who have access to funding. That is, maybe from your country or your region, you have someone or maybe an organization want to sponsor you to attend. We can send you recommendation letter or letter of acceptance that you've been accepted for the conference and that they should be able to give you any assistance you want. So if you have proof, if you want proof to raise funding, you want to come, just let us know. And I think I'll make arrangement with Neville to really see how we can also motivate for you to be able to get funding from your region or country to be able to be part of the initiative. I mean the conference in December. Yeah. So I think I just want to have your final word. It's
Well, my final word is I'm very optimistic and excited by this idea. I hope that we succeed in getting the funding and meeting some representatives. And who knows where we might be in a couple of years' time. Maybe we'll have a great, thriving organization. So thank you all very much for participating.
okay. And for me, thank you very much, guys. I really like this, and I'm just very optimistic and passionate about this initiative. And I just want you guys to come on board for us to build this network together and really see how we can go and really take this particular initiative, to a very greater height. So we want to receive your motivation, and also I look forward to seeing some of you, not maybe all of you, some of you in December in the Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Thank you very much for being part of this, and bye for now. Okay? Bye-bye.
Bye.